All right, so the math dealer here, and today we're going to look at factoring the perfect square trinomial. Yes, that is the chit-chatter. If I had you in class, you probably heard me talk about that little old chit-chatter. It's that student that sits in the back and is talking, but you can't quite hear it, and it's like, are you talking or are you not talking? Yeah, that's what I call the perfect square trinomial, because sometimes you look at it and you go, dude, are you a perfect square trinomial? And then sometimes it's like, nope, it wasn't me. And you're like, yep, it wasn't you. But then sometimes you're like, oh, yeah, it was you. So let's bring it back to math, all right? So when I'm looking for that perfect square trinomial, I want to see, is my first term being squared and is my last term being squared? If the middle is twice those products, all right, then I can factor it as the sum of those roots. So right now you're like, products and roots, what is she talking about? Okay, let's break it down in boxes and triangles, okay? First thing you want to do is identify what is the first thing being squared, okay? What is that first term? What is the square root of that first term? Then you want to look at that last term and say, okay, what is the square root of u? If the middle is twice those roots, then we simply factor it as box plus triangle, or sometimes known as a plus b. So for instance, let's look at the first example I have up here. 8x squared plus, x squared plus 8x plus 16. So you say to yourself, okay, x squared, you're a perfect square. 16, the square root of 16 is 4. Well, when I multiply x times 4 and then double it, I get 8x. So I actually get that number. So the way we factor it is just simply going to be x plus 4 quantity squared. So that's how this guy is going to get factored. So now let's look at this next one. You're like, okay, well, let's check this out. I think I know what she's talking about. 9a squared minus 24a plus 16. So check out that first term. The first term, well, basically that's 3a squared, right? 3a quantity squared. 16 is like saying 4 squared. Well, when I take 3a times 4 and then double it, oh, by the way, I get 24a. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. It did check out. It does match the middle. So the way we factor this thing is simply 3a minus 4 squared. So you might be asking, okay, why is this one a minus and this other one was a plus? Well, it's all about this middle term. Okay, so if it's a minus in the trinomial, then it goes in a minus with the factor term. And if it's a plus, it's going to go into the plus side. Okay, hoping this makes sense. I know I'm going fast, but hold on to your seat, right? Here, 25x squared plus 10x plus 1. All right, factoring the first gives me 5x. Square root of the second, of the last, excuse me, gives me 1. So it does check, doesn't it? Because 2 times 5x times 1, oh, by the way, is 10x. So then I can factor it as 5x plus 1 quantity squared. All right. Okay, I know. You're like, all right, wait a minute. I think I got this. I think I got this. Well, now I want you to try this one. 36x squared plus 84x plus 49. And see if you can get that one. All right, I'm going to slide the board over so maybe I can try this out ourselves. All right, so I'm going to pause. All right, and then when you come back, I'm hoping you get it factored. All right, so welcome back. So I'm hoping you took 36x squared plus 84x plus 49. And you're like, okay, well, that's 6x. I got you. Square root of 49, that's 7. So then I take 6x times 7, by the way, that is 42x. If I double that, I get 84. Oh, by the way, that's what I wanted to get. So then when I sit down to factor this, lo and behold, it's 6x plus 7 squared. Because all I have to do, once I see the pattern, take the box, plug it in, take the triangle and plug it in. And that's where these boxes and triangles come from. Okay. Now, I don't care how funky these get. Oh, yeah, they might get a little funky. So I want you to check this guy out. Okay. This guy is basically, if you were to see this without the boxes and triangle, it might look like this. 3x plus 1 squared plus 2 times 3x plus 1 times 7y plus 49y squared. And actually, you might even see this thing written as a 14. I know, right? What the heck is she doing? 14y times 3x plus 1. So what you want to do is check to see, does it fit the pattern? Well, it actually does fit the pattern, and you can see it if I break it up in these boxes and triangles. 3x plus 1 is my first box, is my only box. 7y is my triangle. When I multiply 3x plus y, 3x plus 1 times 7y times 2, I get 14y plus 3x, right? So, or excuse me, 14y times 3x plus 1. So the way you factor it is you simply bring in your 3x plus 1, bring in your 7y, and that's what you get for factored form. So let's look at this guy. We might as well. It's just sitting here, correct? Let's do this guy. So check it out. My box looks like it's x minus 1. My triangle looks like it's 5 squared. And is my middle term 2 times my box times my triangle? Why, yes, it is. There's my 10, right? 2 times 5 is 10 with the x minus 1. So now when I factor it, remember what I said, box minus triangle squared. You just have to fill in the box and the triangle. Well, the box we said was x minus 1. The triangle we said was 5. And that whole thing is being squared. Now, you might be looking at this going, whoa, whoa, whoa. Can I do something with that? Why, yes, you can. Since they're just numbers, good old-fashioned x minus 1 minus 5, yep, becomes x minus 6 quantity squared, right? So that is how you would factor that perfect square trinomial. Crazy fun, I know. Well, this is the Math Dealer. I hope this was enjoying. Hope you had a good time doing this, or at least learned something. All right, take care.